Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Diablo 2 Resurrected Hardcore Modded 100x difficulty, all the fun words, with the Warlock. We're going to see how things go today, see how long we can actually stream for. So we have changed one small thing, because we had stuff in there, from our part 1, which was a week or two ago. The only thing that we changed is we no longer have any skill cooldowns. I thought about adding the more minion skills, like the ability to have more minions. I decided not to for the time being. We may change that later on. Not sure yet. Alright, so we finished off where we saved Deckard Cain, it looks like. So let us continue. Of course, we made to where we don't need as much mana by finding... did we find a tier rune? No, we haven't found the tier rune, but our set gives us some awesome bonuses, right? Yeah, 3 to mana after each kill, which just really, like, takes care of it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I have to remember what all, is going on with this character, because it's been so long since I last played. Been busy with the roof at the house that I told you all about. We had to take off the old shingles and take off the old tar paper, which is always a nightmare, and it just kind of flakes off. So you don't really do a whole lot to take that off. You just kind of scrape it out of your way, more or less. And then I had to... Hey there, Caleb. Let's go, man. And then we had to take off the old 5/4 or 1 1/4 inch tongue and groove boards that were there. I don't need to be fighting these, but I am, because it's kind of fun to just hit things with a giant ring of fire. And that took much longer than I would have thought. It took like a day per side, and he's down. Okay, well, let's summon him back. Surprised Tainted didn't survive that. Feel somewhat sore. What all did you do? But I know that feeling all too well. All too well. Getting the old tongue groove decking off was a bit of a nightmare. It took a day for each side, essentially. Then put new plywood on, new underlayment, which plywood and underlayment doesn't take that long. I missed... So typical roofs have trusses at 2 feet on center. This thing does not. So I opted for a slightly thicker underlayment compared to the typical 7/16 that we use here in America. I went with 1/2 inch OSB. Honestly, could have went even thicker and probably been better, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. And then after you get the OSB on, you have to put the underlayment on, which did that to code, which is first layer is doubled up, and then say 60% overlap from there on. Pretty simple. That doesn't take very long to do. And now it's shingle time. I've got one whole side done, and then like 85-90% of the other side done. I just have to do the last little bit later today, and then it's the ridge cap. The ridge cap will take me a tiny bit of time, not too much, but it will take some time. I went the wrong way. That's the dark wood, not the black marsh. Feel sore from walking all over the zoo yesterday. Ah, yes. Yeah, that'll do it. Those clips of the adventure on my YouTube channel to boot. Nice. For whatever reason, it didn't notify me. I'll have to take a look after the stream. It's always kind of rude when it doesn't notify me of things like that. Boot filter? Oh, that's right. I can still see it. I just have to... I clicked on that one. But then we have to do the ridge vents. So right now I have the roof completely sealed up, so no water or anything can get in it, because obviously we don't want to damage things with rain. And it's supposed to rain probably tomorrow. We'll see. You did. The cute swamp puppy, which we always need more of. Took a trip not too long ago. I say not too long ago. It's like a year or two ago. Down to Florida's capital, Tallahassee. They have a beautiful little like garden park thing. And there's this adorable baby alligator. He was probably 2.5 feet. And I wanted to pet him so bad, because he was just so cute. But also, swamp puppies are a little dangerous. So I didn't. You need mana. No, you need to cast Fireball. You'll get very close to most animals. I mean, that's awesome, but also super dangerous. My zoo said on new expansion is called the Amazon exhibit. They got a jaguar and several other neat. Oh, that's kind of neat. I still can't increase the stack size. It's frustrating. Oh, that's dangerous. That was a bad time to try and drink my smoothie, apparently. Oh, I found boots. The real question is, can we scoot and boogie now? We probably could. It's all safe until it's not. The question is, did they account for the human element? I think I already have Death Sash on. Wait, I already have Hotspurs on. Nice. Well, now you get Hotspurs. Because you have garbage. Behind a good 6 inch of bulletproof glass for most of them. They also have we were able to feed and pet the giraffes. Oh, my zoo did that we had. Do I have Death? Ah. Death Guard, Death Sand. Well, that's neat. All res 15. Don't need those. Our zoo did that for quite a while. Wait, I've already cleared the tower. No. It wasn't on the map, though. I'm confuzzled. It's been too long. I have to say, the giraffe tongue, don't like feeling it touch me. It's really gross. Very slobbery. Very tonguey. I was free to upload a bunch of shorts, and a couple of them only like 1 or 2 views, then all the other stuff like hundreds. That's just the algorithm for you, man. That's how that works. I mean, take like my videos, for example. I mean, currently YouTube thinks I have 0 viewers, even though you're talking to me, so there's that. Like, some of my videos will get a couple thousand views, and others will get literally nothing. I have a few videos on my channel that are over 500,000 views. Others, like 600. And they can be, like, I've had some where they are parts of a series where, like, part 3 just gets no views, but everything else, tons of views. So that's just the algorithm being weird. It's whatever it wants to show people. Maybe the automated system picked up something in the video it didn't like and was like, yep, we're just not going to share that to anyone. And that's where the whole, like, subscriber thing is super great, where people that don't care what you upload but will watch anything you upload are wonderful. I'm one of those people, like, if I subscribe to someone's channel, I watch every video they put out. I don't care what it is. Yeah, that's just how I am. Like, I subscribe to a person because I want their content, you know, but not everyone's like that. It was the rhino. I mean, not many people get to see a rhino, so I don't blame them. I don't think I've ever seen a rhino up close. I don't recall if my zoo had one. It's been a while. It's been way too long since I've been to a zoo. So I got a very exciting letter in the mail yesterday when I got home from working all day. And it was from AT&T saying, fiber is coming to your area soon. They didn't say when soon was, but soon. Okay, I didn't click on that. And I have it where I can turn one of my views to an ad. Yeah, that is not a good idea to do. It costs a whole lot more. So any views that you get from it being an ad do not count for ad revenue, which is kind of frustrating. But it can be good, like if you're a slightly smaller channel that recently got monetized, you got an awesome video that's coming out that maybe people just aren't going to see because you're a small channel. It can help a little bit, but it costs a lot of money to run ad campaigns. I've thought about doing it for some of my stuff, but I don't know. I did it once before a long time ago, just to see how it worked. But one thing that's kind of nice, like sometimes people run ad campaigns for you. Oh, she's still alive. Where are the runes? Help. Boop. Tal rune. I know what we needed. The local zoo is terrible. Like, if I was going to go to a zoo, I'd go to, like, the Atlanta Zoo. But then I would have to go to the Atlanta Zoo, and I don't want to go there. Why am I not wearing that one? Weird. Okay. Or maybe I just recently picked that one up? I don't know. So I could get a video for 6 days. For AdSense, $4. I mean, that's not terrible. Did they give you an estimate for how much they think it would, how many views would get? I don't remember. I know Facebook does that. So I'm going to have my Daytona 675 video series released soon. And I was thinking I might run an ad on Facebook for that when the time comes. But I don't know. Might also run one on YouTube because I would like to push that out to people. I feel like people may enjoy that. I could be wrong. Do like city pass. That again, that requires me to be in Atlanta, and that's not a city I ever want to be in. It's a terrible city. Oh man, I need to read you guys the email I got from FPL after I'm not dying. It's pretty wonderful. So, some of you may recall, those who have been here for a while, that I've had issues with my local power utility in regards to their EV charging system, where they were billing it incorrectly, like they do. And they kept coming back saying, oh no, your billing's correct. And I said, nope, that's not possible. My house is completely on solar, disconnected from your meter entirely. Because they kept trying to say, oh, well, if you're on solar, you need to be on net metering because your system would be backfeeding. I said, nope, there's no physical possible way that can happen because my system is not connected to your meter in any way. Well, of course, they don't believe you, but whatever, it's fine. And so we've been going back and forth for months now. Reached out to Public Service Commission, was like, hey, this is happening. They're billing me for usage that cannot possibly happen utilizing their system. And finally, after like 3 months of silence, they called me like, we have unfortunate news. I'm like, all right, what's up? Like, we're going to discontinue you from the FPL EV program because our program is not really designed for someone like you. Now, let me read you part of the email that they sent me. This is the first paragraph. Now, I want you to keep in mind, the whole reason there was a dispute is because they were billing me for usage that I could not physically have. So they were saying that I was using power outside of the EV charger. The only thing on my system connected to my meter is their charger. The only thing using power at this property is their provided equipment that they own, operate, and maintain. Okay, so, and I was able to document, like, your charger said it used this much, the meter changed this much. And I have months of data to back this up. If you go back on some of my older videos, it's only on the Diablo 2 series, you can hear me go through this whole thing. So, the very first paragraph, after careful review of your account, we have determined that the FPL Evolution home charging pilot program is not compatible with your dwelling. Specifically, the program structure is not designed to serve an isolated account with minimal to no additional consumption. As a result, we must discontinue your participation in the program. So the reason that it's not designed for someone who does not have any additional usage or consumption is because they can't then scam you and say that you are using more power than you actually are. So if we go through just a very rough math scenario, if you were to, let's say there's 5,000 people on this program, which I'm pretty sure it's actually like 2 to 7 times that amount, but I don't know. I don't have any way to verify that. And of course, they won't tell me how many people are on the program. That's fine. I don't care. Let's say you have 5,000 people, and every single month, all 5,000 of those people are being charged an additional 50 kilowatt hours of usage from the FPL Evolution charger, which should not be happening. Any usage that goes to that charger is supposed to be removed from your bill as part of the Evolution program. But let's just say that every single month they're doing what they were doing to me, and they are, but I can prove it. Well, it's very hard to prove what's happening with other people's programs, but I can prove it with my system. Every single month, people that are on this program are being charged an additional anywhere from 50 to 200 kilowatt hours of usage from the meter, from the FPL Evolution charger, misreporting how much power is going through it. And so because of that, let's say you have 5,000 people being charged 50, just go on the low end, 50 kilowatt hours extra each month from this charger. That would come out to $35,000 per month extra that they're scamming out of their customers who are on this program. So the reason that it's not designed for someone with usage such as mine is because then they can't scam you. Because your average person, let's say your typical household has anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 kilowatt hours of usage, they're not going to notice an extra 50 to 100 kilowatt hours of usage occurring through their meter from this charger, which is a lot of usage. So I found it kind of funny that they put that in writing, like, oh no, it's not designed for people who don't have a whole lot of usage. Well, why not? Why would it matter? Oh, because your device does not report usage properly and you're charging people for usage that your contract says you won't charge them for? Oh, fancy that. So I would love to have a lawyer take on a case to go against them because it is a massive violation. Massive violation of what they're doing. It is 100% fraud. However, I spoke to a lawyer once and they're like, we would love to do it, but we need more data points than just your account. Like, yes, we could take your word for it, we could take it to court, but you're not likely to be able to move forward with it because you're the only data point. And so it's very hard to get the additional data for other people. I know one other person on the program, you know. But I mean, I could reach out and find probably a few dozen. The issue is isolating that charger from the rest of the usage happening to their property. Because, you know, your average person has other stuff going through that meter. So you can't say, oh, well, the charger said I use 30 kilowatt hours, but your meter said I use 35, which was a very common thing. Because if you have other things connected to that meter, well, okay, that accounted for the other 5 kilowatt hours. Prove that it didn't. The only way to really be able to do it, and I think you could manage it with a rather in-depth home monitoring system, where you have this monitor that connects to every single breaker that you have in your breaker panel, and reads the independent usage for those breakers and breaks it out into a list, and you'd have to, you know, extract all the data, all that fun stuff, and then show, hey, during this time, this amount of data was used from the FPL EV charger, and then from this amount of data was used from everything else. And you see that there was a discrepancy of 3 kilowatt hours, which 3 kilowatt hours over 30 days would be, what do you know, 90 kilowatt hours. And it was very common for the meter and the EV charger to be off by anywhere from sometimes 0, which was very rare, up to I think the max I saw was 15 kilowatt hour difference, which is absolutely insane. Oh, we already have one. We'll give it to her. We also already have one of those. Here, you can have this. I'm sure you will. Oh, you guys are very similar. You know what? I think we'll use that. But yeah, so that's my rant there. We don't need you. Apparently he died again. I missed a comment. Let's see. If you like to visit a zoo, take a look at the eclipse. You may like mine at the fairly nice, fairly good sized one. It's more of a natural zoo, a lot of trees and greenery. That sounds far better. As for NOLA Zoo, hell no, I will never go to New Orleans. That place is also an absolute shithole. I've driven through it enough times to know that I never want to stop in. I mean, if I ever end up out that way, we could always meet up. Maybe that's something we could do for a day. All right, now the question is the game going to crash? Probably. How are you still alive? How much damage is it doing? Well, it's doing decent damage. Though I don't know if it's going to scale enough to actually be functional as I progress. Supposedly it is, but we'll see. I need to get life on kill, which is now a thing. I just don't know when that starts appearing on as an affix. Oh, apparently I hit caps lock at some point. Now we're going to go down to players 1. We're getting some pretty decent drops, all things considered, but... the drops are not going to matter for this section, because I'm probably not going to be able to keep any of them. I have 2 emails, what about... Why are there so many ranged enemies? Jeez. You guys are jerks. Now seeing at 22 subs and 58 videos. Nice. Well, the more you post, the more the algorithm will put you out there. So just try to stay steady, and you'll get the viewers and the subs. Work up to that 1,000. So I need to work on my own consistency, but I mean, with work lately, it's been a little screwy, unfortunately. Kind of delays me in being able to stream. But I also need to work on actual like long form content, my regular content. I've got a few videos planned that I just need to take the time to sit down and do. It's a couple hours of work, then edit it out. As soon as you get to 50, you can live stream. I mean, you're not too far off. That's it. Just even if you just make a couple of like day in the life of type things, you know, just random videos showing just you doing stuff around the house, people will like that. May not be many people, but I can get you to that 50 quicker. Or you can also just do like general talking head stuff where you're talking to a camera about something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be how you're feeling that day. And that also gets you used to talking to the camera as well, which is a thing that a lot of people, struggle with. You would think of it as a form of practice in a way. Oh God, there's something in the door. In the meantime, you can always record yourself playing a game and talking a little bit as well, and then upload those as just individual VODs. And just treat it as you would a live stream, even if you have no one to talk to. Talk to yourself. I mean, there's a lot of the time where that's what I do on my live streams. If I don't have any chatters or viewers, it's just me talking to myself, essentially. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's always nice when you have people that you can chat with during live streams, but there's never a guarantee that you're going to have that. And the more comfortable you are just kind of talking away about whatever random topic you want, it's good. Just, keep it appropriate. Obviously, don't talk about things that would be controversial or an issue. One of the big things to stay away from is politics. Though there are people that like political streamers, obviously, it is not conducive to a growing channel. I mean, that's essentially what this is. Diablo 2 is podcast time, let's be honest. And I appreciate that you do, Caleb. I would like to actually be able to do the podcast episodes with Josh. We just haven't, we've been working lately, so we haven't had time to even consider doing that. But currently, Diablo 2 is essentially like a podcast for me because I can kind of just brain off for the game itself and talk about whatever. Nope, Tained's gonna die. He's gone. I do find it amazing how much I am dropping frames. As I was saying. So, we actually talked about that yesterday. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. If AJ already had internet set up there, we would do it. When I do the roof at New Haven, I might do that. We'll see. Because the Osmo Pocket 3 actually comes with a wireless mic, so I can just have it attached to my shirt. The issue is I wouldn't be able to view chat, obviously.
Good day.
Live on location? Yeah, pretty much. That's how that works. I mean, some people like that kind of stuff, just watching someone work. But we'll see. I have not decided how all that's going to go. It also entirely depends on, on the situation, what's going on, because you also don't want to take out the camera in the process of removing things. That could happen. A little bit more health. I guess I could always make like a little 3D print a foot for it that I could nail into the roof, and at least until I have shingles on it, of course. That'd be an option. Or create like some sort of hook mount to attach to the side of the house so it can't fall. I actually have a short that I need to post onto the channel here soon of the ladder lift I built. I was going to make a video of it, but timing did not work out. I was going to crunch for time on making that, and it didn't happen. So this seems to happen a lot with the videos I plan. Like, oh, I'll make this video, and then Live's like, oh, by the way, you only have like 6 minutes to make this, and it's gonna take 4 hours to record it. Sorry. And then I don't. Yeah. All right, shoot the fireball through the room. All right, we really need like regular healing potions soon. These things are not doing enough. I'm taking a lot of damage. Really hope the catacombs doesn't cause crashes this time. Yeah, once the roof is done in this place, then we have to move on to doing the soffits, which that shouldn't be too bad. That should take me about a day to do. And not even, probably just a couple hours. The longest part of it will be cutting this off into 10.5-inch pieces. Yeah. Put all the J channel up, slot it in, nail it in. Though you don't put a whole lot of nails in it. But, you know, just one every now and then to make sure that, like, every 3 pieces. The only downside for that is I do actually have to bring the air compressor, but I can just bring the little pancake and not have to bring the giant one. And then use an air hose. Because for nailing in, because screw ever using a hammer to nail anything in, ever, I have a little palm nailer, and that drives the roofing nails in effortlessly. And unfortunately, the actual roofing nail gun that I have, I'm pretty sure will just go right through it. So that would not work. I might try it just to see, but... I finally broke down and bought the DeWalt roofing nailer, 20-volt roofing nailer, and the 20-volt nail gun. For like framing nailing. And they're pretty amazing. The only downside is because they're battery operated, they are a bit hefty. And you feel it. Like yesterday when we were doing the roof, I asked Josh, like, oh, hey, go grab me the 9 amp hour battery for this. Oh, okay, everyone's dead. Say, hey, go grab me the 9 amp hour battery so we can continue, because I'd taken off to go charge while we went to lunch. Bro comes up with the damn 12 amp hour battery. I'm like, you just must really hate me today. Because the 12 amp hour battery is like a pound and a half heavier. Oh, that's new. Pound and a half heavier than the 9 amp hour. And you definitely feel that when you're going. But with the 12 amp hour battery, like, I could go the whole day and never have to charge that thing. It's kind of amazing. But you're also going to feel it in the arm workout you get by the end of the day too, you know. All right, we found the next level. Can we keep going and not crash? Do live streams who don't talk or not as well, especially not talking. That's usually like the biggest failure in that one. Not showing the face can go fairly well. If you take a look at a live streamer by the name of Pikasprey, P-I-K-A-S-P-R-E-Y, up until last year, he was a camera streamer. Now he's a VTuber, which I'm not crazy about the VTubing stuff he does, but that's a whole other thing. I still like his content. I just don't like the VTuber stuff. Up until then, he only once had he shown his face on camera back when he very first started. So very few people know what he looks like, which is funny. But the big thing is audio. If audio sounds good, then people are more willing to tune in even if you don't have a face camera. I am not the right person to ask for that one. it is not an easy thing to really do. I mean, there are programs that make it fairly simple, all things considered. If you want actual VTuber, that is. We'll get into that in a moment. But if you want like a VTuber model that has proper rigging that goes with your movements and all that, those are expensive, like a few $100 to a few $1,000s. Or you can do what the Burnt Peanut does. He is hilarious for how he decided to do things. So what Burnt Peanut has, because he is just a face and a peanut, if I remember correctly, it was a like a Zoom or Windows Live filter that you could put on to change yourself into a peanut. And that's all he was using. And I think now he actually has, like, someone made a real peanut avatar for him that has just face tracking. But when he started off with it, it was literally just the Windows change yourself or Zoom change yourself into a peanut filter. Hey Link, how's it going, man? I'm sure Ari Requiem is simply getting popular due to its sales surpassing 5 million. I mean, a lot of people have been very happy with it. I've never been a Resident Evil guy, so it does not appeal to me in any form or fashion. Though I will say the ability to parry an RPG does look pretty fun. Just saying. If I could parry rockets, I'd probably do it. But you mess up, you get blown up. But don't worry, blowing up is good for you. You know, minor details. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole VTuber thing. I feel like I'm not a big person for anonymity. I cannot say anonymous. Anonymity. It's too many words, too many syllables in a row. I don't like the whole being anonymous online thing. Like, don't give your name, obviously, but I mean, my name is out there. It's literally my channel name, but that's not the point. Like, you probably shouldn't put yourself out, put out personal information, obviously, but oh, he died. I don't like when people just try to hide behind being anonymous because they don't want backlash for things they say or do. I feel like you should be accountable for what you say. Yeah, try to say anonymity, like, quickly. It's difficult. Very difficult. I'm sure you haven't, but you should try at least once. Well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to try? Like, did you see the GIF I posted in Discord? It was a few weeks back of the dude parrying a nuke in a game. Like, that's what's up. That's how you do parries. Mael parrying a demon? No. This dude parrying a nuke. I don't even remember what game that was. But I saw it online. I was like, yep, people will appreciate this. Please keep moving. How do you keep dying? Have you considered not doing that? Always. Anonymity. Yeah, it's just hard to say quickly. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's like that long. It's kind of like ibophobia, which is the fear of palindromes. A palindrome is a word that's the same back to front and front to back, and ibophobia is just phobia as a palindrome. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Said I didn't know what it was because it's been a long time since I've seen the word, but yes, it is stupidly long. Or it's like whoever decided that the word lisp was going to be lisp. Hey, you know those people who can't say their S's? We're going to call that condition lisp. But they can't say it because it doesn't have an S. Exactly. Because it has an S. Jerks. That's how most things go. It's like ibophobia, the fear of palindromes. What should we name the fear of palindromes? Well, let's make it a palindrome, but they'll be scared of it. Exactly. Jerks. They're like, that's my level of being an asshole. I'm totally full of that. It's glorious. Look at me. I am the explosion now. I'm not the captain. I am just the explodey boy. Surprisingly, we made it through. I need to do laundry today. Crap. I think Resident Evil got me hooked around 2019 and changed history. What was it that had you hooked on it? Man, I like the story of Resident Evil. It's pretty awesome, but I said the gameplay was just never for me. Back when Resident Evil was like really coming out and getting started, I was getting into JRPGs, so you can see how those two would definitely not translate together. Not really. So if I want to be a singer, I think the word is introvert. Introvert is just someone who does not like being loud or boisterous around other people, or prefers to keep to themselves. Found a big bonnet. And he's gone. Yeah, over the shoulder. I mean, I'm fine with some third-person stuff. It's just, I don't know, something about it just never appealed to me. I've never played any of them. Like the modern ones, I could probably get more behind, but definitely not the older ones. Just would never work for me. That's why I would want to do the VTuber thing. I mean, VTubers can be really popular, but typically speaking, VTubers become popular for reasons that are not good. Because of the VTuber model. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Not going to go further into that. It's just kind of gross. I mean, personally, I say put your... You know, if you don't want to show your face, that's fine. Just make sure your audio quality is good and people will still rally behind it. Yeah, you caught where I was going with that. Yep. And there's a lot of people that use voice modulation to make themselves sound very different to attract a certain audience. And I don't like that. I mean, I listen to one dude that I watch and listen to. He is a political VTuber, which is very interesting. But I more so listen to him. I don't watch his videos. They're more so in the background, kind of like as a podcast. But, you know, with him, and, you know, it goes back to the I don't really like the whole anonymity thing. But in a way, I kind of understand as well, because if he didn't just stand behind a VTuber and give absolutely no personal information, people would kill him. Literally. And it's sad that you have to be that paranoid. No, it's not paranoid. That careful with what you say online. And he's not even like extreme. Not extreme. He just is open and honest about what he thinks, and it is very divisive. Yep, that's the one. And I guess you like some Souls-like games, Metroidvania, and mobile platform games like Diablo. Yeah. As I said, like, I can get behind some third-person shooters. It's just Resident Evil just wasn't the one for me. Yeah, The one in question, his name is Nuxtaku. I can't even say what he is, the way that he described himself, because that one word can get you demonetized on YouTube, which is kind of dumb. Oh, God, everything hurts. But, you know, I like Nux. He says whatever he's thinking. He is typically a little biased in his reporting of things, which is understandable. You know, we all have our biases. But at least he's open and honest. Like, yeah, no, I'm totally biased about this. Like, all right, cool. Appreciate that. But he does try to give, you know, both sides of an argument, and I appreciate that. I don't remember when I first came across him. It was a while back that I first came across his content. We're talking like 7-8 years ago, maybe longer. But he's a great way to get a lot of recent news. So, and I appreciate that. Like, because I don't watch news channels. You know, I have a few people that I watch to keep me up to date. That's kind of about it. And I try to stick to people who will either give both sides of what's going on, or at least be honest about where their bias sits. And then, like, hey, this is this side of the argument. If you want to, you know, see the other side, you can watch someone else that gives that. Like, all right, cool. Appreciate that. Instead of someone who just tries to advertise as like, oh yeah, this is the one right answer. Like, nope, sometimes it's not. Both sides have their pluses and minuses. I want all the information. I'll decide for myself. Thank you. I don't know if I remember the lore stuff. But I remember when he was very big into doing a lot of anime related things. And I always found pretty funny back then. Does he? I know he's got Nuxtaku and Nuxnor. And it seems Nuxnor is just the VOD uploads from Kick, and Nuxtaku is his clips from Nuxnor, as well as other occasional short form content. Or, I say short form, like, you know, 15-20 minute videos. Alright, here's our first Endarial. We have to bug her. Wrist is a little unhappy still from yesterday. So the main reason I haven't been playing Diablo 2 is because I've been using a nail gun for the last 2 weeks, which really takes a toll on the wrist. And so keyboard and mouse tends to kind of like irritate my wrist a little bit if I play for too long as it is, let alone when I add in messing with a nail gun all day. Let's see, time check 10:30. Okay. We'll go for a little bit longer. I mean, we've only been going for almost an hour, but nothing, huh? And their phone choice is Malice. Oops. The Heraldric Malice. You good as?
Hello. Greetings.
Greetings, honored traveler.
Now the
Oh, God, that hurts. He does stuff for everything from D&D to... Yeah, I remember the Adventure Time stuff they used to do. It's been a long time since he's done an Adventure Time video, isn't it? All-Res 10. So I think that might be better. We'll do another Indarial run real quick. Let's see. Let's see if it's one I've watched. When was that? It's from the 7th. How, I don't know, I may have just missed that one. Huh. Though to be fair, I was not subscribed to Nux to the Taku channel for a long time. I've mostly been subscribed to the Nuxnor channel, so I was only getting the VODs and not the short form for quite a while. So that would probably explain that. I'll have to watch it later. I'm doing more political stuff because all the crazy stuff that's been happening lately. Yeah, I mean that's mostly what his next more channel is, which is just the VODs from Kick. That's it. I appreciate his takes on it. He's very open about both sides. He is very obviously leaning one way, which is fine. He's open about that. But just to kind of expand on what we were talking about with VTubers, since this is how all that got started, I don't think anyone watches him for the VTuber part of it. I think people watch him because of his animated voice and the way that he talks, his presentation of information. I think that's a much bigger aspect compared to the VTuber that he is. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Like, I mean, that kind of goes with, let's see. There's a viral video that went around a long time ago, and it's still pretty viral, called Tanuk. It's an Indian song by Daler Mandi, and the reason that this song happened, and the music video is what made it go viral, though it is very catchy as well. The reason it went viral was because back when he was very popular, this was, late 90s, early 2000s. Yes, I'm old anyway. He put out these music videos, and they always had these gorgeous girls just kind of dancing scantily clad in them, right? People were saying, oh, the only reason that people like your music is because they like your music videos. And so his response to that was to make a music video that only had him in it, using the wonderful old early 2000s CGI, and it's just him 4 different times to make the music video. And it's his most popular song and video he's ever done in his life, proving like, no, it wasn't the beautiful girls, it was my music. And I think that kind of like corresponds a bit with Nux as well. Like, people watch him because he's good, not because he's a VTuber. Garbage. Alright, let's go back through and let's go take on the Skillbro. I can see. There's a dog here near my eyeball.
I can't do that here.
You can do that here, and you should. The Roach King? What? I got three people occasionally just put on, and then you, him, one other person, the Roach King. I'm not familiar with the Roach King. One thing that I really need to figure out how to get better at is advertising across multiple social media platforms. Like, do the whole TikTok thing, and TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Oh, Asmongold, okay. Good old Zach. I can't really watch them. I've listened to some of his takes and I don't mind them. I just can't. Just doesn't do it for me. Maybe it's because he just always looks so disheveled. It bothers me a bit. But I appreciate that he's got pretty good takes on most things nowadays. Every so often he kind of goes out of left field like, I'm pretty sure you get that one wrong, buddy, but most of the time he's got pretty good takes. I feel like sometimes potions don't give me the proper amount of health back. Nope, I accidentally hit one twice. I don't know what's up with YouTube reporting lately. Like, it currently says I have 0 viewers, which is obviously not true. It's been doing this a lot lately. Okay, I'm taking a lot more damage than I feel I should. It says I have 6? Interesting. I knew what you meant. It's fine. Voice chat coming in just trying to embarrass you. That's all. Or voice to text, I should say. It's been doing that a lot lately on live streams. And I've also seen like a couple messages pop up like, we're having issues with these things. So. I know what's really weird is my last video that I did for Diablo 2 with the traps in, it's kind of like no views, whereas most of the other traps in videos have like a few thousands. And something weird's going on with that one because the algorithm didn't like it. Maybe I said something during that stream that they didn't like. Who knows? It happens. The one I did for the Warlock's doing pretty well. I just released that one yesterday. It's already up to like 50 or 60 views or something, so that's always fun. Come on, where are you, Radamant? We'll find you eventually. You'll update their text speech and it sucks a lot more. Probably get more AI in it. Like, I've noticed that autocorrect for phones, well, iPhones specifically, because that's what I have, has gotten so bad. Like, it used to be moderately decent. You know, if it could essentially guess what you're going to say, and it did overall fairly well. Nowadays, absolutely terrible. And what I think it is because so many people text like an idiot nowadays, it just is essentially ruining it. Like, it would be different if it learned from me. If it was my own LLM essentially for autocorrect and it learned how I talk. Cool, totally be on board with that. It's obviously not. And I feel like the older autocorrect was based off of you specifically, whereas the new one is more of an LLM based on everyone. Okay, there he is. Quest log. And that's just making it progressively worse because most people do not text or type properly at all. No, I lost my little buddy. Come on back, buddy. Yeah, we'll wait. There we go, one right there. Book of Skill. Hold it. This thing, when I first typed it out, I said 6, and then changed it to the other. I said it just wanted to embarrass you, that's all. You still have a phone or didn't have an internet connection to write down what I was saying. That was it? That was it. Okay. Atma. Talk to me. Oh yeah, I can also get a better mercenary. Probably like I can get defilers now. Yeah, no, sorry, you're being replaced. Boop.
Greetings.
Greetings. I want prayer. Shallon. Gulzar.
I'll put that to good use. I'll put that to good use.
Yeah, you can have that one too. All right, let's get you a pokebit. Now I have to have a constant internet connection and analyze every word. Then tries to change it. Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. There was another one. Oh god, I have to see if I can find it. Louis Rossman. Yeah, speech. Look into this one here. Oh, wow, that was painful. So that's from Louis Rossman and his company Fudo. He does nonprofit work. We're not going to get to everything that he does, but I would highly recommend looking into his thing because he's about no nonsense stuff when it comes to anything that's used. Do I have an insight staff ready to go that he could use something? I got malice. It's hard to pronounce certain words properly. Like for instance, I'll try to say 3 instead I'll say tree. That's not uncommon. Whenever that happens, you just have to slow down a little bit and then usually that works. But obviously when you're upset or annoyed, it's a little more difficult to do that. That's for speech to text. I only have 1 point in demonic mastery. I should probably do that. Do more of that. I feel like I've been doing this wrong this whole time. Oh, I have to actually get the cube. Crap. That sucks. Also, my text speech, since I got my new phone and they updated it, no longer wants to work properly in certain apps. As I try out the one from him, see if it's better. Could be, should be, I would think. Come on. Poke some stuff, Shallon. Get your aura going. We need that prayer. There we go. Alright, now he'll heal me a little bit, so maybe I can start using a few less potions. Man, having to be stuck in the middle of all this lightning, though, is not good. I'll tell you that. Should probably look for like a 2-socket cap and put 2 tier runes in it. Then I shouldn't have any mana issues until something like survives for a while. I don't feel like the Defiler's helping. Is that good for only speaking in writing, or is it able to read text? I am not sure, honestly. I know the original design was just speech to text, but it might also be able to read it too. I have not kept up with the project because it's not something I use. You know, just he makes videos and he talks about it, so I know it exists. It's that type of thing, you know. Not too sure. That's one that we'd have to look into more. I don't have an Android device I could install it on, so I haven't been able to test it. Man, strength-wise, I feel like we're definitely falling off here. Which is not good. For my phone company to take Samsung or B Apple. I mean, I feel like most Android phones are not that great, Sally. Like you have the Galaxy series, which are awesome. You have the OnePlus series, which are pretty awesome, and then you have a lot of garbage. Things that really don't excel at anything. Like they're okay and they're cheap, and then otherwise they don't do well. Thought I had magic amulets disabled. Sabre. The Motorola one's really nice. I mean, I can see that. It's from a major company, so. Have to actually get the cube. It's been a long time since I've done that. Because one of the mods I have just gives you the cube upon start, and when I made this character, I didn't have that mod installed, so it didn't give me the cube. 24 hours of constant use compared to your previous sent. That's pretty impressive. Alright, there's the Halls of the Dead, so we have to go in there once we find the waypoint. Which I don't do. Oh, well, that's convenient. Get off my face. I finally got it. What? Why are you staring at me this whole time? When did you start staring at me? It's probably been staring at me for a while, sitting here cross-legged. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't too long. Good thing I'm wearing pants. Or else that would have been really awkward. There are people who... Alright, so this is a true story. Not of me, but somebody I knew. They were doing an interview with Apple. And Apple does virtual interviews. Comically enough, like their first way to filter you out, at least back when they were doing these ones, were the interviews were done via FaceTime. If you didn't have an Apple device, you were just disqualified. All right, check one done. And he had his FaceTime interview, and halfway through, sorry, I got distracted there. And halfway through, the interviewer goes, all right, so I have a quick question. You know, he was wearing a suit. He looked good. She goes, this is not meant to be an inappropriate question. He's like, okay. She goes, are you wearing pants? And he's like, yeah, I can show you if you want. She's like, okay, no, you don't have to. I'll trust you. The reason I ask is I just got done with an interview, and the guy accidentally dropped his phone, and there was nothing on below the waist. So I want to make sure that, just in case, we were good. So he's like, yeah, no, we're good. I've got pants on. Like, the fact that you had to ask that, a little terrifying. Yeah, so according to YouTube, for the last 30 minutes, I've had 0 viewers and 0 chats. So analytics are going to be a little special on this one, apparently. That's fine. Reminds me of your own story. Oh boy. What you got?
You have
Good day.
Oh, I just realized I don't have... What is Bane's authority? The belt. Oh. What's it do? 10% faster cast rate, 20 life. Oh, that'd be kind of nice. You know, I think I found that earlier and I didn't grab it. Where was it? Because I was like, oh, light belt, don't need that. Damn it. The court case called a cop to be... Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Yep. And the judge calls him out on it. Just like, are you wearing pants? He's like, nah, I'm not. They're in the laundry. They're in the washer. Yeah, I remember that one. You know, like, I've had to do quite a few meetings and things like that where I've seen things like, yeah, maybe you should prepare a little bit better for that. Or back when I worked for an MSP, a managed service provider, you know, we had the ability to remote in people's computers. Now, it was supposed to be, keyword here, that when we remoted in, it gave them a prompt and let them know. I didn't like that because most of the time, if I needed to do something, I could just fix it real quick, problem solve, close the ticket. Don't have to reach out to the customer. And I figured out a way to remote in silently where there was no notification. And I actually saw these photos of my phone. It's wonderful. Definitely shared them with everyone because I'm terrible. Not the point. Sorry, got distracted. So this one dude submits a ticket about something. I don't even remember. And so I just remoted to his computer. And this dude is just straight up looking at porn while he's at work on his work computer. And not like vanilla stuff. This dude was into... We'll make it slightly vanilla and say dominatrix, but that's not quite what it was. But he's talking to his mistress through chat on his computer. He's got Twitter pulled up with a feed of his preferred content. Just going through it. And this dude was a CPA looking at all this, which just made it even funnier. And I have videos on my phone. I probably should not share them because I'm pretty sure it'd be very bad to do so. Like with the general public, like close friends, totally share that. And everyone in the office, and I got yelled at, and I don't care. Of what this dude was looking at. And it was pretty hilarious, but like, probably shouldn't be doing that on your work computer, bud. Especially not after you just submit a ticket saying that you need help. Because we're just going to pull it up and see it. And that's when my bosses realized that I had figured out how to remote in silently. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. I was like, then don't make it easy to do. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you gave me this, you gave me the ability to do it. That's on you. And the funny thing is, like, but you're not supposed to have the ability to do it. We disabled that access. I'm like, well, you failed. Because I can do it. And I remote into their computer, and they get really pissed off at me for that. Like, no, you can't remote into our stuff. I'm like, again, shouldn't have given me the ability to do so. Like, you don't have the access to it. I'm like, here's your screen. Yeah, needless to say, we didn't get along all that well. I've told the story of that place numerous times, where I showed up for work. It was back when I was, my friend Josh, he has a flower shop. I was building the walk-in cooler for his shop during this time, and they called me for an interview. So I showed up. I was moderately disheveled because it was like July or August, very hot, and I'm working in a room with no AC. As I'm building the cooler, you know, it takes time to do that. And I show up in my crappy Ranger that's 3 different colors. I do the interview and I ace it because, well, I know what I'm doing, you know. You're back? Welcome back. And I do the interview, I ace it. They asked me to come in, you know, start work on Monday or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, we can do that. And I show up in my Tesla. And they're like, oh, that's a very different vehicle from the one the other day. I was like, oh yeah, it's my car. Like, all right, cool. Like, oh, you probably just need this job to pay for the car. I was like, nope, car's paid off. Like, oh, you need this job to, you know, pay your rent. Like, I own my house. Like, oh, well, to pay your mortgage. My tenants pay my mortgage. Oh, so you don't really need this job. Like, no, I'm just doing it to, you know, have a little bit more money towards retirement. And when I eventually quit, that's when I retired, and that was 6 years ago. So, like, yeah, no, they did not like knowing that I did not need them. No employer wants to think that you don't need them, and it's hilarious. What'd you miss? You just missed me talking about random stuff, you know, essentially. Me talking about the person whose computer I remoted into while they were actively looking at adult content online, essentially. Yeah, that was a small company of 4 people that I worked for, and I was one of 4, obviously. I had my clients that I was dealing with. I'd gotten all of them to essentially more or less be like good to go without me. I very rarely had any calls or tickets or anything that I dealt with on Fridays. And I'd asked them one time, I was like, hey, so I knew how much I was getting paid, and I knew how much one of the owner's sons who worked for them was getting paid, and it was $4 an hour less than me. And I said, hey, how do you guys feel about me not being here on Fridays? You give my pay to the other dude on those days instead to bring him up to essentially what I'm making, and he'd be happier and all that fun stuff. And they're like, no, we won't do that. We need you here on Fridays. I'm like, I mean, I'll still be available if you need me. Like, if there's an emergency, you say, hey, remote in real quick, and I'll take care of it. And I'll stay for as long as it's needed. But common expectation would be, hey, I just won't be there on Fridays unless something is big happens. They said, no. Okay. Whatever. You're paying me to sit here and do nothing, but sure. I watched a lot of YouTube back in those days. Literally 8 hours just sitting at work. And I had to be in office too, which is really dumb. My job is something that can be done completely remote. So I'm just sitting there in my office watching YouTube videos the whole day. Like, okay, whatever. Well, come December of that year, my father was having heart issues, and this is during COVID, of course, so he had to go in for surgery. And I said, hey, he's going in for surgery. We don't really know what's going to happen. We don't know how long recovery is going to be. My mother has not been without him in the better part of 30 years. So if something comes up, I may need to leave at a moment's notice. If something comes up, it's a hard situation. We don't know how things are going. And they looked at me and they had the audacity to say, well, no, we need you here during your scheduled hours. If you can't be here, maybe this isn't the right fit for you. Stopped, I looked at him, I said, yep, you're right. You can go fuck yourself. And then I walked out. And that was the day I retired. I've told this story numerous times during, comically enough, I think it's always during Diablo 2 streams. But yeah, like, I already do almost nothing while I'm here most of the time because I've gotten most of my clients set up to where they don't need us. Like, I've set up the MSP side of things to where we are good for my clients that I am in charge of. Like, come on. And you come back and say, hey, if there's a medical emergency, no, you can't go take care of it. At no point is this job ever going to come before my family. No. Yeah, so I walked out. That was it. I haven't really taken a real job since then. I still do side work. Oh, right now, stamina. Yeah, I still do a lot of side jobs and things that brings in quite a bit of funds, all things considered. But I don't want to actually work anymore. Not for a company. Like, I've got my real estate photography stuff that I do, which I enjoy. But that's different. That's my own stuff. I'm not very busy with that. I don't have a whole lot of shoots, and that's by my own design and purpose. You know, if I advertise it more, I'd have more shoots. Don't really want to. So I don't. Though I have been considering doing it to bring in a little extra income for some things I've got going on that I would like to, you know, be able to do a little bit easier, mind you, but yeah, I live a very modest life with what I have, you know, not like some crazy millionaire. I've got my funds in the bank for my dividends that pay me, you know, a couple grand a month, and I live off that. That's one thing I hate about working for bosses most of the time. Them nothing but a-holes angry about how other stuff they don't want to mention. Yeah, like, they don't care. You know, the only thing that most companies care about is the profit margins. They don't care about their employees. HR is not there for you. They're there to protect the company. A lot of people don't realize that. Watch, time-wise is one of the medium and small sides of the spectrum. I'll have to take a look at it after the stream here. Oh, hold up. It kind of looks like, oh, what was the anime that dude looks like he's from? Nope, not coming to me. Crap. He kind of looks like the main protagonist of another anime. Like, would it be nice if I was bringing in, you know, 100,000 a year? Yes, it would be. But I don't have a way of doing that currently unless I get a, you know, an actual job. Like, because of the lifestyle that I live, I can retire on a small amount of money. If I was some person who loved to travel and take vacations and do cruises or travel the world, like, what I have would not be enough. But for someone who is pretty content playing video games, doing small projects, you know, having chickens, what I have is plenty. And I feel like that is... Also, I don't have children. So because I don't have children, it also works very well. You know, if I had children that I had to raise, I would probably need close to double what I bring in each month to be comfortable. Most of these comic books eventually get turned into anime. That's true. But I feel like one thing that a lot of people kind of fail at is people always have this ambition to have more, to need more in their life. Like, there's a very common thing that happens with people where they'll get a job. Let's say they're used to living off of $20,000 a year, and they're doing okay. Probably not great, honestly, in this economy, but let's say, for fun's sake, that 20 grand they're surviving off it, no issue. They get a new job. They're making $60,000 a year now. You would think if they're used to living off of 20,000, that they would be able to go to 60,000 and just have this surplus of funds, have, you know, be able to live a very nice life. Well, what happens is called lifestyle creep, essentially. Lifestyle inflation, however you want to say it. And with this new job, they start living at that 60,000 mark instead of maintaining what they were living at with 20,000, with maybe just a say 10 or 20% increase in life value. And they now are spending $60,000 a year on superfluous things. Maybe they move into a bigger house that they didn't need. They buy a newer car that they didn't need, that isn't doing anything for them. Oh, he's still alive? Okay, there he goes. Or they start buying a bunch of toys and such they don't need. Instead of living at, say, a $25,000 a year schedule, they now live at a $60,000 a year or $70,000 a year schedule. Lifestyle, however you want to say it. And they never get ahead in life. No, that's... Oh, item cannot be traded here. Okay. The electric company is trying to find me a favorable weather now. Traffic map of 500. Jeez. That is a lot. Yeah, it's almost maxed out. It does not do a whole lot of damage. Entire income for the month is 1,200. And I mean, one of the issues that you're going to run into because of where/what you live in, it's hard to get that power bill to be lower with the heat wave that's coming. I mean, trust me, I know. I live in a garbage trailer. Like, if I didn't have my solar set up the way I do, my power bill would probably be $200 to $300 a month as well. Because no matter what you do, you can't cool this place or maintain its temperature. And I assume yours is very similar in that regards. What temperature do you try to keep the house at? And also, are you using the central AC or using window units? Really? That's surprising. So typically it's not. Typically it's kind of terrible. And the fireplace usually is the best way to save money, obviously. But window units, a lot of people are not aware of how incredibly inefficient window units are. Oh, ran out again. Window units cost more to run than your central AC unit. The caveat being, typically, you can run them for less amount of time than the central unit because you're only trying to cool one room. Is it just the one window unit or do you have multiple? The issue that a lot of people run into is they will run a window unit 24/7. They have two and it cools the entire house. If those are running constantly, that's using a lot more power than a central AC system. I mean, one thing that I would recommend in that case would be to, I know it's not feasible probably, but try to get 2 mini split systems, or one, even just 1 mini split system might be enough, and run that instead of a window unit. It'll use about 1/3 the amount of power. And you can get them for like $500. They're fairly cheap, but they require a little bit more work to install than a window unit, obviously. Yeah, most window units, when they're running, let me get to a point where I can math and not die. Close enough. All right, so most window units, when they're running, use 1,500 watts per hour, or 1.5 kilowatt hours. A lot of people have them run for about 16 hours a day. That's 24 kilowatt hours per day times, say, 30 days. You're looking at 720 kilowatt hours per window unit, typically. Which is a lot. Especially if you're, for what you're living in, you're probably at what? 4,000 square feet, probably. Similar to me. That's a lot of power in just cooling for 4,000 square feet. Because most window units don't have what's called a variable compressor system, or just variable compressor. So if they're running at full power. Like one of them giant. Okay, so is the rest of your family living? Okay, you gotta try to figure out how to ask this question. Do you live separately in the converted shed, or is it you in the converted shed and then your family in the mobile home that you showed me? And are the power bills separate or combined for the two? Because I know you've shown it to me before. The shed was essentially kind of like my utility shed I have, just converted to make it livable, obviously. Which is surprisingly not that difficult to do. I'd love to do a video series on converting a shed into a tiny home, but that's like $40,000 for me to do. Because A, I have to buy the shed, which right now they are ridiculously priced for even like a 12 by 20 or something. I'd like to get one of the 16 by 16s. I think that'd be fun. 16 by 16 two-story one. Turn that into a cute little house. But they're like $25,000. No one's sitting up front in the mobile home anymore, and it's combined. Okay, so does the mobile home not use any power currently? Where am I going? You know, one thing I would love to do, like, how far of a drive is it? Maps.google to where you are. I'm not gonna dox where you are, but if you want to say it, I won't object. I think it's like 14 hours. Oh, it's only 9 hours. It's not that far. By all means. We could probably try to do like an energy audit type thing and see if there's ways to save money in that regards. Let's try and make things more efficient. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that the Warlock is overpowered. And in a way it is, but also like my damage is going to fall off real quick. Teller City. Yeah, it's about 9 hours of driving. They've had charging and all that fun stuff in. It's probably about 10 to 11 hours. You live a long way from Teller, so not exactly dogs. Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to say it. You know, it's your call if you want to say where you live, obviously. Yeah, so that wouldn't be... That's not too terribly far. That's like a weekend trip type idea. But if they're trying to charge you $500 in power, that's a lot of power. Do you know how much it is per kilowatt hour that you're being charged? Or if you have a copy of the bill, if you just send me a copy of it on Discord, I can take a look. Let's see a picture how to find the rest of it. Alright. I have to find the rest. Yeah, usually at the bottom of a power bill to say what the cost per kilowatt hour is, which is, you know, the start to figure out what... My God, I have hiccups. The start of what you need to do to mitigate some power usage, obviously.
How disappointing.
I like that I cannot wield the Heraldic Staff because I don't have enough strength. They not have machete anymore? Oh, come on. Where? Oh, that's pricey. Okay, well, they're not as bad as they were, it seems. Oh, this is a kit? Oh, I have to build it? No, that's why it's cheap. Okay. Hold up. I said 2-story wood barn kit. All right, hold up. Hold up. Where's the price after it's finished, ready to move in? I know, that's not what I'm looking for. Do we not sell the tough sheds anymore? I mean, I can build it myself. That was not the question here. I wanted something that's easy for people. All right, maybe this is it. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I need to... hide that. Go away. One of these places here in Tyler sells one of these buildings 24 by 24 for 2,000. What?
Greetings.
I guess let's do it this way. I'm dumb. Where's that gun pop up at? Come here. I need my race tool. One sec.
Good to see you.
We're just gonna scribble out real quick, make sure none of that shows. Good enough, it looks like. All right. So, what I would love to do, and I'm sure someone around here already has it, I'd love to grab one of these. This is a 16 by 16 2-story shed, 256 square feet. I'd love to buy one of these and do like a whole series on converting it into an efficient, like mini home for people. On building place here in Tyler. Man. Atlas building system, huh? All right, we'll have to take a look at that. But obviously with that price tag right there, you can see why it's not a video series I can just make. That is a hefty amount of money to make for a video series. Now the caveat for this, to build this, it would cost me $2,500 maybe. It's fairly cheap. The issue is your average person can't build it, so they'd want something like that delivered.
It is an honor to...
I paid 10 grand for it, brand new, freshly built. How long ago was that? I remember when these things were 7,500, and that was about 8 years ago. I should probably put a point into blade warp. How many years ago it was paid for? Yeah. That's the caveat there. Yeah, like sometimes you can find similar sheds for decently cheap that are used, not freshly built, but definitely not prices that you're saying. Not here, at least. Yeah, I would love to do a video series on taking a shed like that one and converting it over to a livable tiny house. But the total cost to do it would be about $30,000. I can't drop $30,000 on a video series. Now, granted, yes, if that video series were to get picked up and go viral, it would pay for itself. That is doable. But you're talking for $30,000, I would need, I want to say it would be close to 3 or 4 million views. My channel doesn't do that. My channel very much does not do that. Because for the type of content that it is, it would be about $10 to $15 per 1,000 views. So every million views would net you about 10 grand. If I had to guarantee, yeah, I know this video series will do that, I would totally do it. Because then I know I'd make my money back, but without knowing, I can't afford to do it. I know people would love that, but I don't know if that love would translate to millions upon millions of views, you know? So I can't afford to do it. And when I say convert it to a livable house, like an actual good quality 2-code house that would survive pretty much anything that's thrown at it that's not a tornado. Because, you know, nothing protects against a tornado. With good insulation, good efficiency, you know, like this house would cost you almost nothing to heat and cool when I'm done. Like that's something that I've always wanted to do. It's just, it's too much money. Now, I do have the building plans for a 16x16 gambrel shed just like that one, ready to go for if I were to do a series where I built one. But I am capable of building it. Not an issue at all. Like, it's fairly easy for me to build it. The issue is I would want to do this series that's good for your average person to do, which DIYing the inside to be what you need it to be is surprisingly not that difficult to do. Your average person could do it, but building the whole thing from start to finish gets a little bit more difficult. By a little bit, I mean a lot more difficult. I don't remember what this one is. And especially like the roof of a gambrel cell. Oh, no. Gambrel cell shed, like that is very hard for your average person to do. Five-minute time lapse. Yeah, it's all pre-built and they just put up on lot. That's that I had to assume. I've thought about doing this. Like prefabbing sheds and then delivering them to people. Yeah. They have the windows, everything. No, they don't actually. Well, I'm a little surprised they don't have the base prefabbed. Yeah, I want you to notice how many people are there. It's a whole lot slower when it's just one person. Back on the power situation, my father's brother-in-law doesn't come out here checking if it's licensed electrician. Yeah, that's one of the options they have where it's already built and they deliver out. Well, there's another where they build like majority of it. I missed how they did the wall there. Like they'll build individual sections and just essentially deliver it in sections. Yeah. Okay, so they pre-built the wall. Rebuild everything there. That or someone on the side was building it while they were doing other stuff. That's usually the way that I see them do is they'll have sections pre-built, and they just bring it on a flatbed and then put it up quickly that way. And I've thought about doing something similar, like offer 10x10 sheds that are essentially pre-built. I go out to site, level the ground, put down the base, the subfloor, or the base and subfloor would already be done, so I'd need like 2 people to help move it. And then just go and put it up in like 4 hours. Yeah, it was already built like a mobile home. They just brought it out here like, yeah, so essentially with those, they bring out the whole thing with a flatbed essentially and move it, which that's always neat, but you're limited by the size that they can do for legal reasons of what the road width allows for. I think the maximum allowed width is 12 feet. Might be 14 feet. No, it's 14. Because that's what mobile homes are. That's why if you get a double wide, most people don't know this, but double wide trailers actually come in 2 parts. You have the left side and the right side, and when they're delivered, they deliver one side, deliver the other side, and they have these neat little connectors that actually tie it all together, and then they put the final overlap shingle over it, or overlap part of the roofing. Oh yeah, they're always pretty neat. Yeah, several mobile home building places here. Yeah, there's quite a few around me too. But it's kind of neat how a double wide mobile home can just essentially come apart to be moved. Level 27. Now we could actually grab the insight next level. Nice. And the one that's more rare to see is the triple wide. I don't think I've ever seen a triple wide in person, but I know they exist. Because I was actually looking at ordering a mobile home at one point in time in my life. Like a new one. And I saw that triple wide was an option. So I'd be curious to see how they assemble those. I mean, it would essentially be the same way, obviously, but just, like, I'd be curious how the roof line is. It's probably like, that's a lot of damage. I would assume it's something like you have one slope, then the second piece, the middle part would be like the peak, and then another slope that goes off. If I had to guess. I mean, I could look into it and find out, but I'm not going to. They have quad wides? Jeez. At that point, where are you getting a mobile home? Just pay for that shit to build a real house. Holy crap. A quad wide is like 4,000 square feet. That is huge. Time to use all my potions. Oh, only one. That's not bad. Light plated boots. Really hate this shaky motion. Time check 11:30. Yeah, we need to call it quits here. We need to get ready to make like a baby and head out. It's about that time. I don't think I like your voice.
The Archangel Tyrael was a...
This is...
I should probably use those. Five to mana after each kill. So I can actually just use that, right? 14 to energy as well. I could use a leaf staff. If I get a... I have a Growlithe here. Okay, hold up. tier route. We could do that real quick. Because then we get 3 to fire skills, which that would help quite a bit. But fun. We should be able to potentially tomorrow? It'd be tomorrow evening. Yeah. And then maybe Monday evening. Though if we have like a rainy day, then I can stream the mornings of rainy days. It's supposed to be raining quite a bit next week.
Ahoy, mate.
Yeah, let's see. Sunday's not looking good. Wednesday, Thursday, it looks like it's supposed to rain.
Welcome. Greetings.
Yeah, so we might have a couple of streams coming up next week. Finally. I keep forgetting that he can use two-handed weapons. I mean, if you like those videos, Mitsu, I will. I'll have to take a look after after this. Wow, that's expensive. That's rude. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that I could have on there that would be beneficial in that regard. So let's here, let's grab you. So it's tier Ral. So it's only 2 to mana after each kill, but 3 to fire skills. So we go from 170 202 to... Oh, that would have been nice. There you just build. That's how I want to do it. Boom, right there. All right, let's toss this guy right here. Okay, and on that note, that's where we're going to call it quits for the time being. So as always, if you guys like the content I'm putting out, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all new content that comes out. And until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day and or night. Bye-bye for now.